We have Bonnie New. Bonnie is a retired physician and founding member of the Aging in the Gorge Alliance, or the AGA. Please welcome Bonnie.
Hi, I'm Bonnie New. 2 years ago, we started a project here in Hood River that's now called the Aging in the Gorge Alliance. And the gist of it was to build an age-friendly community. This is a moniker from the World Health Organization, of all organizations, that started this 20 plus years ago. Because all developing countries are now experiencing an elder boom, which someone called a silver tsunami. I'm helping. That's because, first of all, people are living longer, and in many countries, there's the baby boom that was experienced starting after World War II is now an elder boom. So. We're seeing it now. In the United States, 10,000 people a day are turning 65, and that's going to continue for 19 years. In the U.S., cities and regions and counties and towns are all over the U.S. are undergoing this age-friendly community evaluation and discernment process. Portland, Bend, Eugene, Clackamas County, Washington County, Seattle, and so on are kind of our local ones. And now Hood River County, although, you know, we intend the benefit to be wide for the gorge. Now, lots of times when people start talking about the elderly, others think, oh, you know, the medical care. They're going to need a lot of medical care. But that's only one small piece of planning for this age-friendly community. There are, let's see, where did that go? Okay, there are a number of domains besides medical services that are relevant for planning for an elder community. Housing, transportation, outdoor spaces and buildings, respect and social inclusion, civic participation and volunteerism, employment and the economy, social participation, communication and information, health services, which I mentioned, and a home caregiver workforce. So as you can see, the idea is fairly broad. So elders, now you might think that this is kind of a self-serving statement, but elders actually have a lot of benefit to their communities. Volunteering, civic engagement, a wealth of experience in all sorts of areas, and buying power. Elders also have particular needs. And the ones, you know, the things that I mentioned, those domains, are those. Of particular interest here for this discussion is that enhancing most of those domains that would they'll benefit elders, but they're also of benefit to others as well. I'll focus particularly on the housing piece, the transportation piece, including public transportation and walking and biking, multimodal transportation, easy access to park space, open space, and varied housing types, which we've been hearing a little bit about, and Heather referred to them as missing middle housing. So if you look at all those particular features that I'm going to focus on, you'll see that those are not just of interest to elders, but to other age groups, sometimes for different reasons. For example, the housing. For affordable low and middle income housing, there are a lot of seniors in this community and every community who are low and middle income. Ditto for other age groups. So our interest there is the same. Multimodal transportation. Well, elders would benefit from the fun and fitness aspects of walking and biking in and around and from their neighborhoods. And elders increasingly rely on public transportation and walking and biking, maybe, as they become unable to drive safely. Right now, you know, if you see your 90-year-old neighbor driving, this is a source for concern. But, you know, we don't have any alternatives to offer at the moment. Well, we're working on that. So now others in the community, other age groups, are also going to benefit from the fun and fitness aspects. And also, many don't drive. Many don't have a license. Many can't afford a car. Some don't want the traffic hassle. Some understand the environmental benefits of using public or alternative transportation. So they have an equal interest for slightly different reasons. Access to park space. Easy access to park space is a real treasure. And again, this is of similar benefit to all age groups. Parks and open spaces provide fun and exercise and socializing, and they're good for our health. And having them close to neighborhoods makes getting there easy for kids and people who aren't driving. Varied housing types, the missing middle housing. Again, of benefit to all age groups, although there is this kind of typical progression that Heather outlined, including her mistake that tossed her into a family home. But anyway, the benefit of varied housing reaches all groups. Not everybody wants or needs a conventional 3-bedroom house with a big yard to take care of. So, the West Side Area Plan. I participated in the, and am still participating on the Project Advisory Committee representing the Aging in the Gorge Alliance. And I was really interested to see those particular amenities, housing, multimodal transportation, easy access to parks, built into the plan. And it's happening. I'm seeing it. And I'm really pleased about that. The West Side Area Plan, it's important to know that this is all about planning. I guess it's, you know, that's what it's called. But people recently, I've heard really a lot of concern and outcry about an understanding that the West Side Plan is all about density. Well, you know, that is a legitimate concern, but it kind of overlooks the planning aspect. Hood River is going to experience growth. In fact, we already are. And it's a lot better, of course, to plan for it. You can't get the types of amenities that I just mentioned, you know, planned multimodal transportation, easy access to parks, varied housing, and so on, without planning. The time to plan them for the West Side area is now, early. If you wait and think about it later, then they're going to be more expensive. And sometimes the opportunity is just lost. If you look at our existing neighborhoods, they were built for the most part without this same comprehensive planning, and you don't really see much of those amenities. So those are some of the things that I'm really enthusiastic about the West Side Plan. I do have several concerns, and many of you in the room probably have maybe those same concerns or other ones. I particularly want to be sure that that affordable low and middle income housing is actually built. Permissive zoning is not enough. we need the city to make sure that the affordable housing is actually built as planned, and as you heard from others, and it may be heard in city council meetings, they are working on tools to make that happen. And I want to make sure that when the housing, when it's built, that it's actually bought or rented by low and middle income people and not second homers and or investors. Another thing that the city needs to work on, I don't know the answer to that, but I'm hoping that we can come up with it. And I want to make sure that a large public park is actually built on the west side, in addition to the neighborhood parks that were drawn in that you saw when Heather was going through the plan documents. A large park was recommended by the planners, but it's actually not drawn in on the drawings. To me, that's a problem that we can address. The previously conceived and planned West Side Park would, in my humble opinion, would be perfect for this, and I would really like to see the city and the county and Parks and Rec collaborate to make that happen, or something mighty similar. So the point is, I've articulated those concerns to the Project Advisory Committee, I've articulated them to the city planners, and I'm going to continue to do that as we move through this public process. That's what this part of the process is for the city to hear our concerns, our input, and especially to hear our constructive suggestions, as opposed to just no. My wish for us right now is to recognize that growth is going to continue in Hood River and to take full advantage of the planning process to provide neighborhood and lifestyle amenities that I suggested that are valuable to both elders and others. Thanks.